डू यू सी कि जब विमेन बाहर होती हैं, जैसे आपने बोला भी कि आप ट्रैक पे
Yeah.
गए 10,000 फीट, तो वो ज्यादा आपको लगता है कि फ्री फील करती हैं या देयर चाइल्ड लाइक साइड कम्स आउट और maybe they discover a new side to themselves?
One of the biggest thing for women is that a lot of times we keep playing roles. Whether
Yes.
you are at work, you are at home, even while traveling, a lot of women said that either they are organizing or they are coordinating and they are leading the trips. When they come on a trip for themselves, to travel just for themselves, they are the focus, they are the center. They can just kick back and deep dive into experiences that resonate with them. Women have said that they have found people who they could be friends with. They have said that they found their childlike joy again, and somebody said that I'm feeling like I'm with my schoolgirls again. So that's very personally liberating when you step out for yourself, explore for yourself. Like I said, it's a very different and deeply moving experience.
Hello, Sassy Nari, or welcome to a fresh episode of Little Fixes podcast. जहां हम बात करते हैं उन चीजों की जो हर रोज की लाइफ में छोटी लग सकती हैं, पर एक्चुअली बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट करती हैं. We bring little fixes because life's a lot. And so are we. Okay, so you know that feeling when your brain is screaming, I need a break, but your to-do list keeps laughing in your face. So last year, I went to Goa with my girlfriends to take a break. I left Idu at home with her dad, and let me tell you, the sun, the silence. Obviously, we were laughing and talking, but other than that, it was nice silence. And just being without anyone needing me every few hours, life changing, okay? But you know, going there was not easy. Saying yes to that trip, planning it was not easy. So this week, I'm talking to a woman who gets that. She didn't just listen to the I need a break voice, she turned it into a mission. Richa Tiwari is the founder and fellow traveler at Travel Like Her, a women-centric, community-driven travel company. Built on the values of curiosity, connection, and breaking free, it encourages more women to explore meaningfully, spotlighting stories of inspiring local women along the way. We are diving into why it's so damn hard for women, especially moms, to give themselves the permission to just go. No guilt. No what will they eat without me. No overthinking, just pack and leave. We talk about the mental blocks, the sisterhood of travel, the importance of open communication, and why it's not selfish to take a few days away. Spoiler alert, your family will survive, and so will your inbox. So if you've been daydreaming about a trip without your family, or even if you find this unthinkable, this episode is for you. Please help me bring more such conversations to you. Subscribe to Little Fixes on YouTube and follow the podcast on your podcast app. Hi Richa, welcome to Little Fixes.
Hey Maitri, glad to be here.
So Richa, you help women in traveling solo, traveling in groups rather, traveling without their families, and I find it always very fascinating that women can leave their families behind, because it is very difficult for women in general, especially if the travel is for leisure, not for work, right? So I also took a trip last year with my friends, and it was totally different from what I have experienced with my family, right? So let me ask you this: okay, what inspired you to start organizing these trips specifically for women? Because maybe you were a traveler, or maybe you discovered your passion for travel later. Please tell us.
First, I'm happy for you that you took that first step for yourself last year. And as you said, that while traveling with family, with your friends, kids, can be fun. When you travel for yourself, it's an entirely different experience. And my journey goes back almost 10 years ago when I took that first step for myself and I chose to do a solo trip to Bhutan. So Bhutan remains very special. At that point of time, I very vividly remember I was very busy at work, but at the same time, I was reading about the concept of happiness a lot that days. The countries that rank high on happiness, the philosophy of happiness, what being happy truly means to someone. And in that quest, I came across Bhutan's gross natural happiness concept, and it kind of intrigued me. So it was on top of my mind as one of the topics. But when I felt overwhelmed with work, and travel had already was part of my life for almost 5 years then, but I hadn't done a solo travel. So it was a decision on an impulse. I chose to do a solo trip. I told my husband that I want to do it. He was excited for me, luckily. I informed my then boss. She was first surprised, but at the same time excited and intrigued. And the journey started over there with that first experience. I got comfortable to be with myself. I felt a lot more confident of my choices. I felt a lot more liberated with the newer experiences that I got. And I always looked for mind expanding experience. So, knowing a new culture, meeting new people, discovering places on your own, I think that's one experience that I called my biggest first investment in myself.
ओके, तो उस ट्रिप के बाद आपने तुरंत डिसाइड कर लिया कि अब मुझे यही करना है या फिर धीरे-धीरे?
Not really. So that was the beginning of me discovering the solo traveler within me, or somebody who could independently travel, who could seek the interests and experience that she had for herself, which probably might match or not match with my partner or my friends or my family. So I think that was the beginning. That was the decision that gave me that push and that confidence that yes, you can do it. And the journey kind of continued. Next year, I did 2 weeks solo backpacking trip to Europe. I stayed in a seaside Italian villa for almost a week. I explored culture of coffee across Italy, and those were some interesting and deep experiences that stay with me till the date. And travel kind of became a part of me. But I would say that as you start traveling and the journey continues, like any other interest, it kind of evolves for you. And that's what happened for me. From just the joy of being at a new place, seeing new things, experiencing new things, it became a lot more about local culture, meeting people, hearing those stories, connecting with women from different countries and cultures. I think one was the most rewarding experience, personal experience, I would say. So travel to me started becoming beyond surface. It was a personally enriching experience that I started looking for. Come back to 2022 when I was doing well for myself, working with a big tech brand as chief of staff. I was looking for what's next for me, something that connects with me deeply, something that I would be really passionate about. And I decided to take a break for myself first. So 2023, I took a break for myself, and something that was on my bucket list to do unhurried, immersive, slow travel. And I did that for 7 months straight. By the time I
वाओ!
felt very sure of the idea that I had to create a community, to create a safe space, to create an interesting and meaningful travel space for women, not just hopping places and clicking pictures, something much more deeper, building connections. And that's how Travel Like Her came into being late 2023.
ओह वाओ! वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। सो पहले आप कंफर्टेबल हुए, उसके बाद आपने कम्युनिटी बनाई एंड नाउ यू टेक वुमेन विद यू टू ट्रैवल अराउंड इंडिया। और ऋचा, फिर जो आपकी ट्रिप्स होती हैं, ये किस तरीके की ट्रिप्स होती हैं? लाइक इसमें आप एडवेंचरस एक्टिविटीज़ करते हो या फिर यू स्टे एट अ प्लेस एंड जस्ट चिल? मतलब क्या होता है?
I would say these trips are women-centric and experiential. By women-centric, we generally people talk about women-only trips, but at Travel Like Her, I'm taking it beyond that. The thought is to make it women-centric, not just for the experience, but also highlight stories of local women. Because for women to kind of find different, similar, those sort of stories, sometimes finding a little bit of inspiration in it is also, I think, a deeply rewarding experience for people. Like recently, we had a journey to Bundelkhand, which is my home turf as well, and we met the young climate leader who is an RJ at India's second community radio, Radio Bundelkhand. Her name is Varsha. We had a conversation about her small village that she comes from, the kind of choices she has made despite coming from small places and being recognized by UN for her work with rural community and women in the space of climate change. I think today I personally feel women are not just looking for just a place change kind of a thing. I think we as women are also looking for something which is deep, which is meaningful, and where we can connect with the stories of other people too.
Okay, so Risha, this is a great idea. I really like the angle of meeting local women, understanding their stories. So I think that makes travel like her क्वाइट यूनिक और फिर आप वहाँ की लेडीज से मिलते हैं अपने साथ और वुमेन को ले जाते हैं तो किस
जी.
तरीके की वुमेन आपके साथ ट्रैवल करती हैं लाइक मेरे जैसी हैं जो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं या फिर मे बी होम मेकर्स या कॉर्पोरेट एम्प्लॉयज
जी.
मदर्स लाइक व्हाट काइंड ऑफ वुमेन गो विद यू
मैं बोलूँगी आप ट्रैवल लाइकर में मिल सकते हैं एक डाइवर्स स्पेक्ट्रम ऑफ वुमेन से अगर मैं एज की बात करूँ तो फ्रॉम लेट 20s टू लेट 40s is the core group. In a way, the women, 90% of women who have traveled with us, but now I'm even happy to see women in their 50s, women in their early 60s
वाओ
who are kind of joining us, and I'm more than happy to make them be part of the journey, make them feel included, and kind of learn from their life experiences as well. In terms of career and profession, you would find women from techies, doctors, scientists, to now women who are diving into their passion like both of us. There are DJs, there are artists. Plus, at the same time, women who are taking career breaks. I think that's the new thing that I have seen. Probably both of us have done that as well. Who are on a journey of discovery. They are taking breaks to connect with new people, to spend time with themselves. And at the same time, I have women who are homemakers, who by choice are nurturing their families and kids. However, what makes Travel Like Her unique that how women with these different life choices, career choices, life experiences come together and be part of this group. And intentionally, I have kept the groups very small and intimate so that conversations can happen because there is beauty in conversations, a range of conversations that you see from an idea to deep life experiences, to somebody's story, somebody's scars, to somebody's highs as well. And at the same time, it gives you space to be on your own. So it's a good blend of finding your me time and a good social time.
Yes, and you know why I asked you this because I want to understand कि इतनी तरीके की women आ रही हैं और हमारा पहला थॉट क्या होता है मैं अपनी फ्रेंड्स के साथ गई थी लास्ट ईयर इट वाज नॉट अ सोलो ट्रिप नॉट एन
हाँ.
अननोन ग्रुप बट उसके बाद भी आई वाज थिंकिंग कि अरे मैं चली जाऊंगी मेरी बच्ची कैसे रहेगी ये लोग कैसे मैनेज करेंगे 3 दिन की ट्रिप थी इट वाज नॉट अ लॉन्ग ट्रिप बट आई थॉट अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स तो इसलिए ही मैं जानना चाह रही थी कि किस तरीके की वेमेन आती हैं एंड देन दे गेट ओवर देयर मेंटल ब्लॉक्स तो मान लीजिए बिकॉज यू हैव अ कम्युनिटी ऑफ वुमेन तो आपके पास आ रही हैं कि यार मन तो है जाने का बट आई जस्ट कांट लीव माय फैमिली बिहाइंड तो आप क्या कहते हो ऐसे लोगों से
That does happen, and oh, you won't believe it just happened a day back. And I was speaking to someone who's a mom. She is so keen to come to Bhutan journey with travel like her. And she's a working mom as well. So, double whammy. You have your work responsibilities, you have to figure that out. Plus, at the same time, she has 2 kids. And while there is this interest in exploring for herself, because for this person, it's the first time that she would be doing it, there's a lot of hesitation, there is inhibition, there is guilt. And guilt is one of the biggest thing that comes like in
Yes.
women very naturally. It could be because of social conditioning, it could be because how most of the women live their life. And my first conversation with her or with anybody with that experience is that first talk to yourself. First, you are convinced that you are taking this step for yourself, you are choosing yourself. It no way means that your partner, your work, your kids are not important. It's just choosing yourself and prioritizing your happiness or your experiences sometime. And it's not like I would say an act of selfishness. It's just a little bit of being kind to you and prioritizing you, which sometimes may not come naturally. But having that conversation, the self talk really helps. And once you are convinced, you have that conviction that, yes, I want to do this for myself, it really creates a good ground to have conversation either with your partner, how to share responsibilities when you are away, or with your other support system, whether your heads or your parents and friends, other people. And I think once you are convinced and you are sure that you are going to come back happier with this experience, everybody would pitch in, and that has happened in past many a times.
ओके। तो आप उनसे बोलते हो कि यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आप क्यों कर रहे हो, कि
Yes.
दूसरे लोग जा रहे हैं इसलिए कर रहे हो या अपने लिए कर रहे हो। तो आई थिंक दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज़ एवरीवेयर आई सी दीज़ डेज़ आई सी अ लॉट ऑफ वुमेन ट्रैवलिंग विद देयर फ्रेंड्स, विद groups like people they do not know, and I find it very empowering, very interesting ki haan women are also traveling. But what happened is I don't remember when that
Mhm.
happened, but one of my friends said, not friend but someone I knew,
Yes.
they said कि अब ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया है, लाइक हर जगह
Hmm.
जहाँ देखो औरतें ही औरतें घूमने लगी हैं, फैमिली के साथ जाने की बात ही अलग होती है।
Mhm.
तो अगर ऐसे लोग हैं आपकी फैमिली में या फिर आपके आसपास, तो यू विल फील डिस्करेज्ड। और
Yes.
क्या आपको लगता है सच में ये ज़्यादा हो गया है? लाइक क्या है ये मेंटालिटी, और कैसे आप ऐसे लोगों को
हाँ,
कन्विंस कर
मुझे
सकते हो, समझा सकते हो?
I understand where you're coming from and the experience that you had with your conversation with that woman. And I think sometimes people carry their own baggages and their own preconceived notions and kind of make perspective about something. बट अगर आप women and travel की बात करो तो ये तो बस start है, to be very honest. Still a lot of women are not traveling for themselves. If I talk about a decade ago when I started traveling solo, a lot of people at my work also felt, oh, is everything all right in our life? And that's those kind of reactions. Now, after COVID, a few women have started traveling solo. There are influencers and all of that. But and this is a difficult choice. Sometimes people think that okay, they would be judged by someone in their family, like you said. But I think when you travel for yourself, when you invest that time in yourself, which you could do through hobbies as well, but travel gives you much more time and space to spend time with yourself, to connect with new people, to kind of break your bubble. And a lot of women, even if they are doing well for themselves, whether they are single, whether they are child free, or whether they are moms, they have said that it kind of helps them understand the kind of privileges we come from, the kind of bubble we live in, our circles, our conversations, our work, everything becomes so much patterned, and it really helps break that pattern. So I personally feel that it's such an enriching, liberating experience, the best gift that a woman can give herself. And I would say that women should inspire each other, in fact, and that's the core of building travel like her. At the core, it's women and the spirit and love for travel. So that's the whole intent of building travel like her, that we can share each other's experience. We can bring women who are taking this step for the first time into the circle and make them feel comfortable that it's okay to leave your kids behind for a while. They'll do just fine. uh, Taking away a week, 10 days for yourself doesn't mean you don't care for anyone else. And I think the first step that women can take, that be comfortable with your choices. If you're choosing yourself, don't feel guilty.
Okay, then tell me a few stories of transformation, reconnection, and maybe even lifelong friendships women formed with each other with travel like her. Yeah.
Some of the things or experiences that have happened with me as well. A few years ago, when I went to Gurez Valley, and I chose to explore a village over there to kind of know who are the people here, how many people live here. I happened to see a school as well, so our girls studying, and it was remote near LOC. Um, and at that point of time, a woman appears from a home, and she kinds of invites me to her home, which is very, very nice and common in remote Kashmir. And she asked me, "Chai piyoge?" I was a little hesitant in the beginning, but after traveling so much, I was like, okay, let's take the bet. And I went inside. She got me some chai. We got to talking, and during that conversation, I figured out that she's the first woman sarpanch of that village, Markut in
Ooh.
Gurez Valley near LOC. So that connection stayed with me. Like till now, we keep checking on each other. What's happening? I check with her. What's happening there? She checks with me. What's happening in Bangalore over here? Hopefully, she visits me sometime. And later, after a few years, when I went to Gurez Valley to host my all women journey with Travel Like Her, she invited all of us to her place, and we met a lot of local women who she's empowering through the initiatives that she's taking in that village. Um, I would also say that there are people who weren't very active in nature or not very thrill adventure seekers. They were up for new experiences. But we went to Gurez Valley and we chose to do the high altitude trek in Gurez Valley. A lot of people took that first step for themselves while they could opt out of it and could do something leisure, but people chose to do that. And while it was very challenging, it had the thrill and the beauty of that zone being at 10,000 feet after that hard work. I think all of us were full of joy, and people couldn't believe that they did that. A lot of people took inspiration from that, and they felt that, okay, once I go back, I would start hiking, I would start trekking, I would do something to be physically more fit for myself. So I think finding inspiration in those stories, we also met, like I said earlier, the first young climate leader from Bundelkhand. At the same time, we met someone from Nagaland, and she's the first solo biker who biked across Nagaland, and her theme was women empowerment. So meeting such women, hearing their stories, finding yourself somewhere in those stories and challenges, and seeking some real inspiration, that's been very, very liberating and uplifting for most of us. Um, in addition to that, I've seen people becoming friends. I have also been part of someone's success stories once they have come back from the trip, either someone buying their home, being blessed with a new career, a new venture, or a new baby. We have shared the joy. People have been celebrating each other's birthdays, catching up over coffee.
वाओ! दैट इज़ वंडरफुल कि एक तो आप अपनी पहली एक लिमिटिंग बिलीफ है जो आपके मन में ब्लॉक है और शायद होता भी है कि आप उसको ब्रेक करके पहले आप ट्रैवल कर रहे हो। फिर उसके बाद आप वहाँ पे कनेक्शंस बना रहे हो, बाद में वो आपके लाइफ लॉन्ग कनेक्शंस बन रहे हैं, यू आर सेलिब्रेटिंग ईच अदर तो दैट इज़ अमेजिंग। वी ऑल नीड आई थिंक मोर एंड मोर कनेक्शंस दीज़ डेज़।
Yes,
इट्स नॉट लाइक कि हमें बिल्कुल पक्की दोस्ती चाहिए जो जैसी हम लोग बचपन में सुनते थे,
true.
बट आई थिंक हमें कनेक्शन ज़्यादा चाहिए क्योंकि हमें हर तरीके के लोगों से जब मिलने को मिलता है तो वी अंडरस्टैंड कि हाँ, ऐसा भी होता है या हम ये चीज़ उनसे सीख सकते हैं। तो दैट इज़ अ वेरी डिफरेंट thing which I think I also miss out on a lot which when I used to work I used to go to office वहाँ पे मुझे हम लोग की बहुत लंबी जर्नी होती थी तो वहाँ पे जिस तरीके के लोगों से सामना होता था कि हाँ अच्छा ऐसे लोग भी होते हैं तो दैट वाज अ डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस एंड व्हेन यू आर गोइंग आउट ऑन योर ओन देयर इज यू नो नॉट दैट काइंड ऑफ वॉल ऑल्सो कि भाई फैमिली ने बोल दिया वहां नहीं जाना है तो हम नहीं जा रहे राइट देयर यू आर फ्रीयर कि हाँ ये भी ट्राई कर
Right.
सकते वो भी ट्राई कर सकते तो डू यू सी कि जब विमेन बाहर होती हैं जैसे आपने बोला भी कि आप ट्रैक पे
Yeah.
गए 10,000 फीट तो वो ज्यादा आपको लगता है कि फ्री फील करती हैं या देयर चाइल्ड लाइक साइड कम्स आउट और मे बी दे डिस्कवर अ न्यू साइड टू देमसेल्व्स
So true. And you said it so beautifully because women today are looking for connections. As we grow up and move on in life, people change places, people make different life choices. There are few women who might be single and their friends are on the motherhood side. There are few women who choose to be child free and they are looking for that kind of experience and also to connect different kind of experiences. There are different interests, like you said. There's somebody who's building a women-centric venture or a community. You would like to connect with different kind of experiences, see how their journey has been, and kind of have that common passion and love to share with. Yes, I do see that a lot, and that kind of brings a lot of different conversations. People have found, like, recently there was a writer on the trip who has been on a break for a few years. And after coming back, I got the text that I am feeling so inspired to write again. There are stories brewing. And I think moments like these, or somebody in Nagaland coming and giving me a hug for the first offbeat kind of real travel that she did. She stayed in a village with a local woman, tried food over there, just was in nature, away from her busy schedule. I think these are the moments that move people sometimes. And when they share that, I think that's been very fulfilling personally for me, because why I will travel like her, because it's kind of deeply resonating with my passion, which is around uplifting women, sharing my passion with them, and the spirit of travel and the beauty that it has. And also, you said about that, yes, women do feel childlike. I think one of the biggest thing for women is that a lot of times we keep playing roles. Whether you are at work, you are at home, even while traveling, a lot of women said that either they are organizing or they are coordinating and they are leading the trips. When they come on a trip for themselves, to travel just for themselves, they are the focus, they are the center. They can just kick back and deep dive into experiences that resonate with them. Women have said that they have found people who they could be friends with. They have said that they found their childlike joy again, and somebody said that I'm feeling like I'm with my schoolgirls again. So that's very personally liberating, I feel. And there are people who are introverts as well. There are people who like to have conversations, but they love their space as well. So I travel like her. I also try to create a space for me time, whether it's in nature or a range of experiences that you could choose from, or just the time to be with yourself and reflecting a bit.
Wow. Now that is also, I think, one thing which makes travel like her different, कि आपके पास me time भी है. क्योंकि yes, you are alone, तो you definitely need some me time कि चलो थोड़ा अपने आप से भी बातें करते हैं. फिर अच्छा उसके बाद क्या होता है? मान लीजिए फैमिली वाली women हैं, they
जी.
are back home. तो what do they realize कि हाँ, अरे फैमिली से तो बिल्कुल ठीक है, like they survived, they made it a week or so.
Yeah, I think it's that initial inhibition, like we feel before taking any big step in life, that women feel. Sometimes on the journey as well, I think having some conversations with them when they meet people who have also come from with the similar background or probably similar experience, like a mom seeing another mom who's probably with a younger kid, but she has taken that step for herself. I think there is power in this community, sort of, where you can have shared experiences, you can share your worries, and you can just be. I'm not just saying that it naturally within a day women can just switch off. It even when you travel, I think it takes, even after traveling for 10, 15 years, it takes me a few days to completely be in a new environment, to feel, oh, I'm here now, let's immerse myself into new surrounding, new situation. So it's very natural to feel worried. But once they come on the journey, once they become part of the experiences, once they experience that sense of freedom to be who they are and going for experiences that interest them, not their friends, not their partners, not their kids, because a lot of women say that, okay, sometimes I go for experiences or I go for travel because, okay, everybody comes around and we make a plan and we go. But here, like I said earlier, you are the sole focus of the journey. And the
Mhm.
people, once they go
Okay.
back,
Yeah.
somebody shared that my daughter welcomed me with a dish, or somebody said that she prepared a welcome card. Somebody's spouse had like gifted her another trip because she felt so amazing and reconnected with herself after this experience, that he said, no, you should do more. So I think it's about conversations. It's about taking that step for yourself, being convinced, and everybody comes along.
यस, मेरे लिए ना ये रिकॉर्डिंग करना भी थोड़ा-सा ट्रिकी होता है जब मेरी डॉटर घर पे होती है। अभी शी इज़ आउटसाइड, तो वी हैड टू डिसाइड कि उतनी देर में वो क्या करेगी। ऐसे भले ही वो 1 घंटे मुझसे कोई मतलब ना रखे, पूरे दिन कोई मतलब ना रखे, बट इफ शी नोज़ कि आई विल बी क्लोजिंग द डोर, तो शी इज़ लाइक, मैं क्या करूँगी 1 घंटा? तो आई मीन इतनी सी देर के लिए भी वो छोटी-सी बच्ची को ये लगता
I
है,
hear
एंड
you.
शी प्रिपेयर्स सम काइंड ऑफ लिटिल स्नैक फॉर मी आल्सो कि हाँ, मम्मी आ रही है, उनका मैं स्वागत करूँगी 1 घंटे के बाद। दैट हैपेंस एंड आई रियली एन्जॉय दैट। लेकिन जो हमारे फैमिली मेंबर्स हैं, हर किसी के फैमिली मेंबर्स बहुत सपोर्टिव नहीं भी होते हैं हर बार।
जी।
तो हम उनको कैसे प्रिपेयर करें, स्पेशली व्हेन यू आर अ मदर एंड हैव किड्स हू आर यंगर, लाइक मे बी अंडर 10?
I think it's in everyday choices and conversations. I personally feel the kind of conversations and discussions we have with our partners, our spouses. Is your home a shared responsibility, or is everything relying on you? The decision making, the responsibilities, kids. I think having those important conversations, bringing your spouse into sharing the responsibilities, and sometimes when your parents or your in-laws are involved, making them also understand why your own identity as an individual, your own passions, your own experiences matter to you, and if it makes you happier, if it makes you fulfilled, you will be much more happier and nicer person to be around, I would say that.
Yes.
So it starts much before, and it starts today, I would say, for women to create
Hmm.
that sort of environment, and for people around. If anybody else other than people who are trying to travel for themselves, if men listen to this podcast, I think, how do you create that supporting environment at your home where taking a decision to travel for yourself for a woman is more of a conversation than a permission, because I have come across that as well. And I'm so happy that through conversations over time, a woman from the stage of permission and the denial of a partner that I'm not ready to take care of the toddler that you have. So from there, the whole family coming along, they understanding why it is important to her, why this experience will bring something joyful to her, and it happened, and I'm so glad it happened. So there are a few
Yes.
stories like that where family or the spouse didn't understand first, and they said, no, okay, we'll go together, three of us will go together. Yes, you will go. I'm not saying that's not fun or that's not amazing. It's equally amazing to go on trips with your parents, with your partners, with your kids. But when you step out for yourself, explore for yourself, like I said, it's a very different and deeply moving experience.
यस, एंड आई लाइक दैट यू सेड कि कॉन्वर्सेशंस आर इम्पोर्टेंट, क्योंकि हम यहाँ भी लोगों से कनेक्टेड हैं। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप इंडिपेंडेंट एम्पावर्ड वुमेन हैं तो इसका मतलब नहीं है कि नहीं, मैं तो जा रही हूँ, बाय, हो गया,
Yeah.
राइट? वी कांट
Yes.
डू दैट। वी हैव टू बी कंसिडरेट ऑफ अदर पीपल्स अपब्रिंगिंग्स, देयर कंडीशनिंग, और हमारी भी बहुत सारे मेंटल ब्लॉक्स होते हैं, उनके भी हैं, तो बात करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। ऑब्वियसली इफ यू आर इंडिपेंडेंट, यू आर अर्निंग वेल, तो यू कैन से कि मैं तो जा रही हूँ, जो करना है कर लो, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते, राइट?
Yeah.
दिस कैन बी अनदर एटीट्यूड, बट आई थिंक that is not the way to go about things. If you have a nice family, people who are
Yes.
willing to support you, I think it starts with connecting with them. It starts with better conversations. So what you said is very important.
Yes, and because it's not about one time, right? Like it's not just about travel. There will be a lot of other choices that you would want to make, whether your travel or your in other interest or the career choices that you make. I think conversations to me are the center of everything. But of course, for others to create that environment where women can even choose to do it and bring a conversation to the table, so others can support in that way. But to make travel a part of your life or to make any other big decisions, I feel first having conviction in own your own choice, and then having the conversation.
यस, यस, ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि अगर आपको ही लग रहा है कि आप नहीं करना चाहते हो, आप नहीं कर पाओगे, तो फिर फैमिली को आप
Yeah.
कन्विंस कर ही नहीं सकते। वो तो फिर आप खुद ही शायद अंदर से करना ही नहीं चाहोगे। ओके, और क्योंकि हम यही बात कर रहे हैं कि फैमिली, हमारे सराउंडिंग हमारा कंफर्ट जोन बन जाता है।
हाँ,
मुझे लगता है कि ठीक है, एक बार बात कर ली, मना कर दिया, चलो छोड़ो। तो ये जो कंफर्ट ज़ोन वाली बात है, अगर हम निकल भी गए ट्रिप पे ऋचा के
जी।
साथ, वहाँ पे जाके भी वी विल बी लाइक अरे पता नहीं घर पे सब लोग कैसे रह रहे होंगे, उन्नो ये कैसी जगह है, उन्नो ये कैसे लोग आ गए हैं, आई डोंट नो। तो ये जो कंफर्ट ज़ोन से आप लोगों को बाहर लेकर आते हो और वहाँ पे उनको नई जगह, नए लोगों के साथ कंफर्टेबल कराते हो, तो हाउ डू यू डू दैट?
I would say that the intention is to make everybody feel comfortable, irrespective of where they are coming from, with what kind of travel experience they are coming from. At Travel Like Her, I meet people who share my passion for travel. They have been traveling for years. However, they are taking that first step to travel for themselves. Or there are people who are just stepping out for the first time as a woman after motherhood or so. My intention is to create an environment where everyone first can be themselves. So I tell people, be you, you do you. Choose experiences that resonate with you. And like I said earlier, there is time to be with yourself too. There is time to have conversations with others. There is time to deeply engage in an experience, whether it's around culture, meeting local people, local women, art, writing, or being in nature, being adventurous, or just being slow in nature. So, with that, I encourage women to be themselves. And once people feel comfortable, it's about then nudging them to try something new and adventurous.
हुँ,
So, like in Gurez Valley, we started slow on an offbeat houseboat and lake in Srinagar. And after that slow, beautiful experience in Srinagar, we head on to Gurez Valley journey and do a thrilling road trip. After that, we go towards LOC. So it's like taking slow steps towards that journey, and each step kind of takes you closer to a new experience. So when we went closer to LOC, we met locals. We went to a hut, a local hut over there. We spent time by the stream. We understood stories of those women, shared meal with them. And after those experiences, when people became even more comfortable to be in that remote part of country that we are now so blessed to have access to, we went on the high altitude trek. And this was about challenging a little bit of your mindset and physical limits, plus at the same time experiencing something so remarkable in nature. So it's little bit first making people feel comfortable, making people feel seen. Even if you have different choices, even if you have different experiences, you might be new traveler or avid traveler. Everybody is welcome at Travel Like Her, and that's what makes it a beautiful community today.
ओके, नाउ दैट इज़ समथिंग आई थिंक आई कैन ऑल्सो कंसिडर कि हाँ, पहले अपने आप में कंफर्टेबल हो, फिर धीरे-धीरे, छोटे-छोटे एक्सपीरियंस करके नई तरफ जाओ। आई थिंक इट इज़ अ गुड आइडिया टू ट्रैवल विद वुमेन हू यू डू नॉट नो। वैसे मैंने अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ ट्रैवल किया, वो मेरा शायद फर्स्ट स्टेप था सोलो ट्रैवल का कि अपनी फैमिली के बिना ट्रैवल करके आप जा रहे हो। उसके बाद मे बी ट्राई ट्रैवलिंग विद अदर वुमेन और मे बी उसके बाद सोलो ट्रैवल, मतलब मैं ऐसे जाना चाहूँगी शायद। तो
Sure.
ऋचा, अगर आपको पिक करना हो कि सोलो ट्रैवल या फिर ट्रैवलिंग विद अदर वुमेन, व्हाट विल यू पिक?
I would pick a mix of both because
हाँ।
I enjoy traveling solo when I'm making my own choices, I'm following my instincts, I'm doing what I want to do, where I can just flow with as per my idea and mood. I would choose solo travel as well, and to kind of dive deep into some interest or curiosity that I have. I think solo travel is a great way to follow your interest, to learn an art form, to learn something new, to go on a high altitude trek. I think these sort of things I would probably like to do a solo travel for, or going to a far remote part of the world that I just want to experience for myself and others may not have
हुँ,
interest in it. I would still choose solo travel over there. However, uh, not when I started building Travel Like, or even before that, when I was on my solo travels, I met amazing women on the journey. Whether it's staying with an Italian woman in Rome, or spending time with someone in Himachal as well. I even met someone in Nagaland who later became part of Travel Like Her. So I think women who are open, who are confident, who are curious, who are kind are the kind of women that I like to travel with, because you can try new experiences. And despite having traveled solo for 10 years now, I was just telling someone over a dinner a few weeks ago that when I travel with Travel Like Her and this group of women, I personally feel much more relaxed and at ease as well. Otherwise, when I'm traveling on my own, my guards are always up. I'm looking at
Hmm.
time, I'm aware of my surroundings, and sometimes I had to follow my instincts and kind of stop a particular experience because I didn't feel safe. However, when you
Yeah.
travel with women, the best thing is about that you can be on your own. Plus, you can be surrounded by women from diverse experiences and diverse career and life
Best of
choices.
both
That's
worlds.
very enriching.
Yes, yes. And Richa, in the end, you tell us कि अगर कोई woman है, she wants to travel with you, but she keeps putting it off. She wants to travel with other people. Maybe she wants to go solo also. So what will you say to her?
I would say to her, just take that first step. You can be the focus of your life. Taking time out for yourself is just an act of self love, it's just prioritizing you. It doesn't mean that other people, other things in your life don't matter. It means that you matter too.
यू मैटर, जो हमारी पॉडकास्ट का भी मोटो है.
That's why I was so happy to get on this conversation with you.
यस, यस. तो ऋचा, बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बातें हुई ट्रैवल के बारे में, एंड नाउ आई एम कंसिडरिंग ट्रैवलिंग सून, मे बी, आई डोंट नो. धीरे धीरे अपना मन बनाने के लिए रेडी हो रही हूँ.
Yes,
और
yes.
बिकॉज इस एपिसोड को सुनने के बाद, हमारी बातों को सुनने के बाद, आई एम श्योर बहुत सारी वेमेन को लगेगा कि हाँ, हमें भी जाना चाहिए. तो
जी.
आपका ट्रैवल लाइक हर, इसके बारे में कहाँ हम और पता कर सकते हैं, एंड हाउ कैन वी टेक द लीप?
Sure. So you can find us on Instagram with the handle Travel Like Her. Some amazing women who are explorers and come from different walks of life are there. It would be lovely to have you there. We have a form over there where you can join the community and seek more experiences that are coming up in India and beyond. And I'm happy to share that I'm launching the website as well in April.
Okay, wonderful. So your website is there, and you are going international also, so that is amazing.
Yes.
And Richa, I really enjoyed this conversation. थोड़ा मोटिवेशन आया, थोड़ा विमेन के बारे में पता चला कि हाँ, कैसे सोचते हैं. साथ ही मुझे ये भी पता चला कि इंडिया में कौन-कौन सी जगह है जहाँ पे आप जा चुके हो और किस तरीके के एक्सपीरियंसेस आपको हो सकते हैं. तो दिस वाज़ अ माइंड ओपनर, आई वुड से. सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर शेयरिंग ऑल ऑफ दिस विद अस.
Thank you, Maitri, for making this conversation interesting for me as well. I could reflect on my journey of travel of 10, 15 years as a solo traveler, as a founder who's building for women, and so many stories that have touched me. So I'm feeling equally pepped up and fulfilled after this conversation and hope to chat up with you again.
Yes, same, Richa. Thank you.